Welcome to the Collaboration Conversation, a listener-supported video podcast where Christian artists, entrepreneurs, and friends share about their upcoming projects and how they are using the gifts and talents that God has given them. This podcast is made possible through generous listeners and friends like you, and we are so very grateful. If you would like to sponsor an episode, head on over to thecollaborationconversation.org and click Sponsor an Episode. Likewise, if you want to check out or support the nonprofit ministry, Project Brickworks, head over to projectbrickworks.org. Today, our very special guest is Meggie Jenny. Meggie is an actress, talk show host, wife, mom, and chauffeur to her kids. We first met at the Christian Worldview Film Festival several years ago when I was scoping out her talent agent. And then now we are repped by the same talent agent. Meggie, it is so good to see you. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. And I just have to clarify that I fell in love with Sarah immediately at this festival because I saw her in Fat Chance and I was like, oh, who is this woman? And then I chased her down and I was like, you're incredible. And I immediately was like, you're my new best friend. You don't have to waste my husband.
I agreed.
Yeah. So it's been lovely.
Yes. It has been so lovely to get to know you. Recently I saw, that wasn't that recent. Time is weird in COVID. But back when we did the Christian World Film Festival last year, I only saw you for 0.7 seconds. But you came up and I was like, friend, stay with me. And there she goes.
Crazy.
And you guys, did you get to meet the Christian? For
just briefly, yeah.
Yeah, you were on your way to a screening. But so that's where Meggie and I met, just letting you know.
Yes, that's great.
And now we're up by we're in this TCT fam. It really seems like a fam and I love it. And
y'all love Jean.
Oh man! Well, who doesn't love Jean? My gosh!
If you don't love Jean, it's your problem. It's not
it's your problem. It sounds like a personal problem, and I can fix that. Go watch her episode of the Collaboration Conversation.
That's true.
There you go.
But you guys have worked together once.
Yes, we sure have, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. We got to. She was very gracious and interviewed me on her talk show, which I'm very excited because I want to hear all about how that came to be.
Yes.
I've never asked you that, and I'm really excited to know.
Yeah.
But first, if you wouldn't mind, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I hate this question. I always do because I'm like, I'm not that cool. I'm an actress. I'm a mom. I have an 11 and 14-year-old. I'm married to an awesome guy. And, I just kind of go where God leads me. And God's doing some great things right now, which is awesome.
Ain't that the truth?
And overwhelming at the same time, but it's good. So just kind of staying flexible and doing what he calls me to do. So that's a terrible answer, but that's all I've got.
No, I love it. But you left out some really cool things like your 2 times People Choice Actress of the Year.
Not me.
I'm sorry. Yes, but still to be nominated.
It's still cool.
It's so cool.
And honestly, of all of the things, those were the most special to me because someone had to take the time out of their day to write my name in. This wasn't just and the people of the festival did it. People who love me and know me, hopefully, maybe they don't like me.
I'm going to nominate her, but I really don't like her.
It's cool because it's okay, well, I'm doing something right because people I work with, respect me. And that meant the world to me.
Absolutely. Well, and we'll talk a little bit about your projects here coming up so people can figure out where to see you soon.
Well, I want to know more about the kids.
Yeah, that's
mom.
true. She's such a mom.
You have 2?
I have 2. Yes, I have a 14-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son.
Oh, awesome. And are either of them aspiring actors?
So they were. I don't know if they still are. My daughter is, for career day. She's like, I want to be an actress just like my mom. And technically they're both on Jean's roster, but I'm really, really picky about what they do. Because I'm listen, you only get one childhood. So I'm protective of that.
Yeah.
So they've done little commercials and stuff with me, little short films and stuff locally with me. But I'm you can do this when you get a little older. But they're fantastic. They come by it so naturally. And both of them have done plays with church, and my daughter did the one with school. They're just
nice.
They're just so stinking awesome.
That's great.
They're awesome.
Well, now you're in the Midwest, right?
I am. I'm in Missouri.
Missouri. Okay. I was It's so funny. I have no concept when I'm talking to folks and where they are. And I very often send them the wrong time zone. It's like, oh, I thought you were in, Texas or whatever. So, okay.
And I'm not geographically gifted either. So someone could be like, I'm in Minnesota. I'm like, cool.
Neat. In relation to me, where is that?
Right.
Well, so you're not probably all that well situated for, Atlanta or, where some of the projects are. So you probably have to do a lot of travel.
I do a lot of traveling. I do. Luckily, because I'm central, it's easy for me to travel to different places where it's like, time zones. Like if I was on East Coast trying to go to West Coast, that time zone will rock you. So the fact I'm central means that like I can adjust fairly quickly. And I'm drivable distance to a lot of places.
Nice.
It's just,
but
that's all right.
Yeah.
You got to go. And sometimes you're like, this is a long time. But, like a long time for me is like a couple weeks. Long time to people without kids might be like 6 weeks. But I'm like, this is my family.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to go home. So.
Well, and I saw on your social media that your husband treated you very sweetly when you returned from this last project.
I'll tell you what. He doesn't get enough credit. He's like the best.
Oh, that's awesome.
Seriously, like it's just amazing. He's super supportive and like he's like a total like caretaker mentality and like, hey, how you doing? Like I am not that great at those things. Like I want to be, but in the back of my like if he's sick, even my kids, I'm like, are you sick? I'm just kind of like always a little skeptical. I wish I wasn't, but I was like, I'm not real sure. Whereas if I'm like not feeling good, he's like, well, I'll bring you something to drink, and he's just like the total, like what he's the fairy tale Prince Charming kind of caretaker, and it's just amazing. And I'm terrible at it, reciprocating. Luckily, that's not his love language. Because you would not be okay with it. He is
hilarious.
Well, that's awesome. Good. Well,
speaking of social media, before we jump into Meggie Rambles, I want to ask about your newest incredible endeavors, what I'm going to call it, which is that you are obviously an actress, but you are wanting to share your gifts and talents with other actors and teach them the ways of what not to do in this industry. And so I love watching your reels. I think it's so creative. It's also like good information. And so I'm glad you're getting that out there. Talk to me about how that kind of came to fruition. How did you start doing that?
Oh, man. It's like everything I've done. It's very rarely intentional. It's almost always just kind of maybe you should try that. I'm like, no, I'll give it a go. And then it turns out to be this grand expedition. But yeah, so like I was talking to my producer about the Meggie Ramble show and, you should probably, think about how you could promote. And I'm like, I hate self-promotion. I just don't like it. I'm like, it feels icky to me. Like, I just don't like it. And then, I'm at the Christian Worldview Festival this past year as well. And somebody was like, why aren't you on TikTok? I'm going to be honest, guys. You're never going to find me on TikTok. now it's a matter of stubbornness. Like, one, I didn't like it before, but now I'm like, really like, no. Yeah. I won't do it. Yep. Which is ridiculous, but this is who I am. But then like Instagram started doing the same thing with these reels. And I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that. And Jean is always, he's sent me people be like, hey, can you help them with this? Or I have people who reach out with questions and they just want to help, like if I can help somebody else understand it better or not make a huge mistake and all these different things, that's better. Like that's improves the entire community. Totally. And saves a lot of frustration for people. So that's kind of been my heart. I'm like, I can do this. I can help some people. It'll help me to kind of be creative and, manage my time a little bit better too. Because there was a time where I was like, I'm getting people who are asking me questions and I want to help them and I want to help them with these self-tapes or whatnot. I just don't have the time right now. Yeah. So now I can kind of be like, hey, here's some basic pointers. Go check out my social media. And there's some stuff there. So yeah, it is. I try to post every single day. It was a little challenging when I was on my latest project because we were out in the middle of nowhere and internet was scarce. Oh, no. But I do every day, just one tip. And of course, I'm going to repeat stuff because sometimes you have to repeat yourself. Oh my gosh. Before someone listens. Yes. But yeah, so I mean, it's something fun for me to do and I hope it is helpful. I've heard it's helpful. People may find it annoying. If so, unfollow me. Not even a little bit. At all. It's so cool. And you're so entertaining and you're so
your personality, which is why we vibed really quickly. You have a very dry sense of humor, or you can, and I love it. And so just sometimes other people might not be picking up on it, but I'm picking up on
I love it.
And some of those dry humor moments, and I love it. Well, so let's now talk about Meggie Rambles. Was that not like that? There's no way that wasn't intentional.
Oh no, that was not intentional.
Really?
It really wasn't. Okay. It really wasn't.
How did that?
I'm telling you what.
How did that happen?
I'm not kidding you. If I told you all of the things that have led to where I'm in today, like it is literally God just being like, no, Meggie, you're doing this. And so like, get out of the boat. I'm going to do something awesome. And that's totally what it was. So Meggie Rambles started because it was the pandemic and everyone's home. And for a while there, everyone was home and really bored. Mm-hmm. Obviously that went away quickly because people filled their time with 100 different other things rather fast. But initially it was like, hey, we're all home. We're all kind of bored. Facebook was letting you like collaborate with different people on lives. And I was like, I'll just do that. Maybe we'll just talk to some different actors and it won't be that big of a deal, but maybe it'll be something where people can find out who they are or how to watch their stuff. And so I did my first one. It was a dumpster fire. And I use that term with every ounce of what it was so bad. So I couldn't, for the life of me, for whatever reason, like my professional acting page on Facebook wouldn't allow someone else to join me. And I was like, it was crazy. It was trying over and over and over, and I couldn't figure it out. And I'm of course live, and you know me, I don't just sit there quietly trying to figure it out. I'm talking this whole time. I'm like, why isn't this working? If somebody knows how this works. And
I totally was watching. I remember this.
Oh,
I was watching.
Of course you were.
I remember this.
You can't look away.
Now that you're talking about it, I was like, I was there.
I watched that. It was amazing. What's funny is the longer, because I'd have to I'd close out and I'm going to try it again. I'd close out and I'd come back on. People would come back on. They're like, oh, we need to see how this is. I watched the whole thing.
Who was the guest?
Hilarious.
Who was your guest?
Anita Cordell.
Okay.
And it was dreadful. By the time we finally got her on, there was echoing, and it was so bad.
Oh, I remember
so
I remember the days of echoing when, yeah. But you guys redid it. Didn't you pick another day?
So after that, no, because it wouldn't work.
Okay.
It was like, no, this is it. You can't do this. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, but that's over. But I got a message from my technical director and producer now, Marty Roberts, who's like, hey, I can help you. I can tell you how to do this so that it actually looks right. And I'm like, can you? Because I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, oh, yeah. And then we started talking. And he's like, you know what, Meggie? Let's make this a thing. And seriously, he took it and made it everything that all the beautifulness of it, all of it. That is him. Okay.
So cool.
I figure out what we're going to talk about. I do the entertaining stuff, but everything technical and beautiful, that is all him.
And it is all exceptionally beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's so cool.
He's so fantastic. Honestly, he's so kind, and he has such a great heart. And it's just it's overwhelming to think that this is what, God, I didn't know him. I maybe had talked to him a handful of times, but it's not like we were besties or anything like that.
Right.
And then he goes and spends this time and energy into building this beautiful thing. It's just overwhelming to think about how good God is to me, because I don't deserve that. It's just incredible.
Oh my God.
Well, how long have you been doing it? Almost 2 years? 2020.
So July 2020.
Okay. All right.
Was my very first Meggie Rambles real episode.
Yeah.
And Leland Clausen was my guest. And so it was crazy. Okay. We didn't talk about getting into this, but I'm going to get into it.
Do it.
So sorry. So it was July 2020. It was July 15th. I can remember this vividly because I was going to have surgery July 22nd. I was going to have brain surgery, and I was going to be out of commission for several weeks. And I was like, Leland's going to be a great guest, and I can clip out different things so that it can stay relevant. And then when I'm ready, I can come back and it'll be great. So no one knew. My team knew, but nobody else knew. My producer didn't know that I was having to. I was just like, hey, I'm going to have to take a break for a minute and we'll come back.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Leland was my first guest, and Leland, he's just so easy. It was super fun and it was great, but he was my first guest. And then I came back, I think right around 2 months later and continued. And now we've done 30 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
It's so cool.
It's
so
amazing. When you came back 2 months later, I was your guest. It was me.
Exactly. You were.
I was your second guest.
You were my first post-op guest, and my head didn't fall off or anything.
It didn't.
So
and I was so proud of
Well,
you.
and are you okay now?
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally fine. Totally fine. And again, that's a whole God story as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just is. But it's just, it all worked out great. 2 months post-op from my surgery, I was in Ohio making a movie.
That's
so
amazing.
like, it's just, I mean, God is great. and the all of it, I'm telling you, like we could have ourselves quite a little TED talk.
We could.
About how like, you don't got to understand nothing. You just got to do it.
That's right.
But yeah, no, like it's been awesome.
Yeah.
And it's cool because, I'm not that clever, and God's just like, you don't got to be.
Well, that's not true.
Just do it.
Well, but that was very fun to watch you guys interact and
Oh my God.
I mean, and the tempo was, quick and
and
you
from
guys
like
are
a behind the
witty.
scenes as the guest, I was like, this is a real thing. I was like, I gotta do my stuff. I gotta be ready. But like mostly like when I got on, you have your technical director is incredible, and he was like, all right, and we're going on in 5 seconds, and I was like, 5 seconds. 4. It was just
he's done TV for like 20 years or something like that.
I mean, it was run just like a TV production would be, I would imagine, like a live news show.
That's
it was
awesome.
Yeah.
It was so much
can
fun.
I brag on him for a second
Please.
too? Like there was one time he could not hear me. So there was one episode we did. I don't remember even which one it was. There was one episode for some reason he could not hear me, and I could not. Like we couldn't hear, and so he literally punched the show deaf.
Oh,
wow! And I didn't realize he couldn't hear me. But yeah, so like he was able, like about halfway through, for some reason something happened to his audio and he couldn't hear me, and he was just going for my visual cues, I guess, enough that he
wow.
And like he's running video and like all these different things, and he did it. It was crazy. It was
that's really extra impressive.
Yeah.
So impressive.
He really studies and understands your show, which is great because he was there from
the beginning.
Was there from the beginning, but obviously he knows your mannerisms and can tell when you're throwing it to the guest. And
well, who's your next guest? Do you know yet?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know. So I have a list of people that I I want to have on, but I've been so busy this front half of this year that I'm like, I can't put that on at the same time. I want to be able to focus and have it be consistent. And so, I'm not sure yet, but we'll do a 10 episode season. So it'll be, I don't know, at some point this year, we'll do something.
That's amazing. Well, no, I think that's awesome that you manage your time that well. I will ask you for tips on that. Do some reels for me, because I don't manage my time very well.
Listen, I didn't always. Okay, it's kind of like that sense of like you might have a really big plate, but maybe your plate's made out of paper, and so the more you stack on it, stuff falls off. And I'm just like, I can't do this, because I'm the one that was always like, oh yeah, I can totally do that. I can totally do that, and then I kill myself. And I hate everything.
Yeah, totally. I'm there. I've been there.
Yeah,
I'm there.
You're getting. It's getting better.
I need to put a sturdier plate.
Helps kind of a thing. It's like I heard this once, and I thoroughly believe it. Your greatest strength, it can also be your greatest weakness, because you can do it so well that you feel like guilty saying no. Yeah, and then you're way overextended, and you're like, now you do nothing well. So you got to learn to do less better instead of like taking on way too much.
Yes.
Crying in the corner.
I love that. And sorry, you just caught me at a good time. I'm going to soapbox on that there for just a hot second. But I heard this phrase that I have also held on to, which is givers, which is me. Givers have to set boundaries because takers have none.
Ooh.
And I really liked that.
I really like that.
So I'm learning that boundaries are good. And then I saw this other quote that I'm going to say. This is the last one. It was a meme on Instagram, but it was boundaries. What is it? Boundaries allow me to love myself and you simultaneously. And I loved that. I thought that was really good. So anyway, sorry. You just caught me at a good moment, because I love that. All about it.
I've gotten to the point where I'm asking myself, is this my best yes?
Yeah.
And that was a phrase somebody had told me. And I was
like, I like
that's
that.
true. Because if I say yes to that, I have to say no to something else.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that my time is invested well.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's really good. I'm going to needlepoint that on a pillow. and hold on to it.
Do you needlepoint or is
no? That's just a phrase I say.
I'm like, I'm going to need to see these pillows.
That's hilarious.
But you do, was it crochet?
I don't really crochet.
She used to do that when on set though, when she was bored. And I'm like, and she's 12. I'm like, what?
Not on set, on like backstage.
Oh, backstage,
like in the green room when I was bored.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
it was probably cold too, so you were crocheting to keep yourself busy.
Keep myself
so you
busy
didn't die.
and warm.
Yeah.
But it wasn't any. I only could do scarves. That was it. Just rows, straight rows. That was it.
That's so funny. Well, we read from your bio that you have done over 40 shows and movies, and I was
50 now.
Is it almost 50 now? Okay.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, because you've had such a busy start.
Crazy.
A couple years.
That's awesome.
So I was wondering, what are a couple of your favorites?
Oh man,
I know. It's a hard question.
It's so hard. It's hard because so many of them have so many fantastic like God moments. And that's one thing that I love about this job is it's not just your finished product. That's like the whole thing is a ministry to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like every moment on set, and there has been moments on every set where God is clearly doing something. So yeah, I loved my time on Song of the Tree Frogs. The people were incredible. There was so much spiritual warfare on that set. It was astronomical.
Oh.
But the people were incredible. And it was amazing how just in 2 weeks we were family. And we walked away from there like with these incredible relationships. And it's lovely. That was a really special project for that reason. And then I really had fun on Mind Reader, which I did in November because we were filming in this town, which is like an HGTV town. And like we're driving around, it's beautiful. I'm like, this is really great. Like, why is it so pretty?
Every house has been done by.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So I mean like, and then like, I don't know. I really don't know. It's terrible.
All of them.
I think all of them are for different reasons.
And that's legit.
Probably not all of them. There's probably a couple I could be like, nah,
not that one. But all the other ones.
But for the vast majority, yes.
Yeah.
And but that's my, like, I'm very much like a relational person. Like I'm very, like I enjoy meeting people and creating these relationships and seeing what God does with them later on. And I mean, it's kind of like, like Sarah, like we met and like immediately I was like, this woman is incredible. And it's just like, like who would have thought in passing? Seriously, I think the first time I met you, I talked for like 3 minutes to you. It wasn't like this.
Right. We've talked for a total, like in person, like maybe an hour to 2.
Total. The whole week.
Yeah.
And yet, like, I walked away, I was like, that chick's awesome.
And now, like, I feel like I could call you for literally anything. And I would receive a call for literally anything.
Absolutely.
I totally feel that way.
And I feel like that to me is what makes these projects so special.
It's
true.
true.
Really, I mean, of course, the message and doing the work. I love the work, but like the people are what makes it so special.
Oh, it's so true.
That's awesome. Well, good.
Well, we love talking about talents and gifts. That is our MO. And, we believe that God has given each of us unique talents and gifts, specifically to do the good works that he has set out for us in advance. And all of that we ask to what end? And that is to build our brick as for his kingdom that he's building. And so, we don't build the kingdom, but we can build our brick. And so we just love hearing. I want to ask you, take a little bit of a twist on this conversation too, because for your sake, because you're going to love this. But we love talking about what are your talents and gifts? So this is like a 3-part question. What are your talents and gifts? What are your kids' talents and gifts? And that's a good one. Because, and I say that because of this third part, which is that we also love talking to people about this concept of training up a child and figuring out what their talents and gifts are that God has given them to help encourage them to start building their brick. So sorry, that's so many questions. We can take it one at a time. So let's start with your talents and gifts.
Okay. So I know I have like gift of help, which is great and can also be really challenging. And the Lord has really worked on me through that. I actually was running a children's ministry not that long ago, actually at the Christian Worldview Festival where we met. The Lord finally slapped me upside the head and was like, Meggie, stop it. And I mean that literally, because I was openly crying in front of a bunch of people as the speaker was talking about it. And I was like, he turns around and she's like, oh, good. You know, that's for you.
Good.
Because, you know, like that sense of like, well, I can do it all. And it's like, but you can't. Like, you can't do it all. And so learning to use my gifts in the way that he wants me to use them, instead of that mentality of, well, I mean, I have to. And I think that that's something that's really easy. It's easily manipulated, not intentionally, by people, because, you know, and this is going to sound terrible, I'm sorry, but the whole like, I mean, like, but what are you doing for this? Like, how come you're not doing this? And I'm like, hey, now, you shouldn't be guilting anybody into doing anything.
Right.
Yes.
Jesus.
Right.
It's one thing to point out you're really great at this, and I'd love to see you participate in this or doing this or whatnot, but like, don't be guilting people.
Right.
Okay. Because you don't know what they're dealing with. But yeah, so I know I have that gift, and I know I have, you know, I'm very gifted in creating relationships very quickly. And that's one thing that I've seen God use over and over and over on set and with people, and, you know, having the ability to really speak truth. There's one in particular that I'm not going to name names, but there's one in particular that I was on a project with, and, you know, they did not know the Lord. They very much grew up in a very worldly kind of sense. And by the end of the project, they're like, hey, you know, I was like, oh man, God knew what he was doing. Like, doesn't he know all the time? And he's having like legit God conversations with me that he's initiating.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like how cool is this? Because like everyone has their different giftings, and there are some people who are really, really fantastic, and you know, they're kind of, I don't know how to say this without it. I don't know how to say, I'm just, you know, like, and it's just like everything is kind of coded in, you know, spiritual language.
Yes.
Right.
And that's fantastic if that's your gifting. But it also, like, you need people who like me, who are just gonna be like, okay, God, what are you gonna do? So that somebody who won't receive that will be open to having a conversation.
Yes.
And I feel like that is definitely where God has put me. Like, I'm going to be in a place, I'm not going to change the way I talk based on who I am with, whether you love Jesus or not. I love Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
So if something's happening, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to give him the glory. And I mean, I'm not going to make it like weird. Okay. But I'm not going to pretend like it's not real either.
Yeah.
But God has used those moments. And I know that that's part of the reason, like, we're to be a light in a dark place.
Amen.
And so while, yes, I want to work on mostly faith and family projects, because I don't want to, you know, be a part of a project that like later I feel icky about, obviously. But right. I also don't want to be so closed off that I'm like, you know, God's trying to use me someplace, and I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Right.
And, you know, because, you know, like God wants to put us in. How are they going to know if we won't go? Like, how are they going to know?
Right.
You know? So yeah, I feel like that's something that's really, really important to me, and how God uses my giftings for his kingdom. Well, and I'll never know how it turns out. You know, like, I stay in contact with these people, but it's not like we're besties texting each other. Hey guys, what'd you have for lunch? And, you know, like,
right.
But, you know, like, we follow each other on social media, and we, you know, I keep kind of up with people and what they're doing, and it's still an open door, and you never know what God's going to do.
You don't.
I might be the only person praying for them. So that's, to me, is really, really important. As far as my kids, okay. So my daughter she is very like me in a lot of ways, but she has the benefit of her dad's logic.
Oh, nice. I love it.
It's really, really good. She is so strong in who she is and who God made her to be. And both my kids are. They are both like just unashamed in their goofiness and their silliness. And, you know, to be 14 and 11 and still be goofy, for me, that's a treasure.
Yeah.
Because at that age is when you kind of are just, you know, I want to blend in, and you kind of just start diminishing who you are to fit in. And I'm like, you guys weren't made to fit in. Okay. Like, of course, be socially acceptable. Don't be weirdos, but be who you are, and the right people will find you. And like, they both have done a really great job with that. And like, Alexis is really, really fun and outgoing, and really, really, really strong in who she is, which for me, especially being a little girl, is really, really important. You know, it's really, really important. And I can see that in her friends. Like, she's very black and white. It's either right or it's wrong. There is no gray area. My son can live in the gray area.
Oh, no.
We call him Loophole Landon because he's really good at finding the loopholes. And I'm like, hey, stop it. But, yeah, but no, she is, I mean, to be the age that she's at and to be so like, no, I would not do that. I'm not going to do this. And hey, you know, this friend's doing this and I don't like it. And I'm telling her, and I'm like, all right, girl, like she's so bold and it's incredible. It's so incredible. And then my son is so creative, but he would not tell you he's creative at all. But he's so creative. And he's got his dad's sweet, kind heart. He's the guy who's like, hey, Mom, you okay? Need anything when I'm sick? Or I mean, he's so kind. He's got that caregiver kind of mentality, and it's pure. Like, it's just so kind.
That's awesome.
Incredible. I have 2 fantastic children.
Oh my gosh. Awesome. You are so blessed. That's awesome.
I really am. It's awesome.
Well, I don't know when I heard it, but I did hear that idea of train up a child before I was, I was still a teenager, and it just somehow stuck, that idea of parents paying attention and being, real deliberate in helping the kids. And we've talked about this on a podcast a very long time ago, but I really wanted Sarah to be an athlete. Well, and you are an athlete. That's not changed. But like in 5th grade, she did a play, and I went, oh no!
After years of them spending money on softball,
and basketball and soccer,
and
she did them all, and I was devastated. But we went with it.
we went with it.
I guess we'll do that.
Yeah. Well, and so like my daughter is a phenomenal editor. Like,
yes,
she's so good at it.
You've posted her videos.
Good at it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So she has her own YouTube channel. I'm gonna plug it.
Do it.
I actually don't remember. She changed it recently. I think it's Me Alexis is what it's called. It doesn't matter.
Cute.
But she's so good at it, and she takes these videos that she does with her little friends that could be really boring, and she makes them so entertaining.
Cute.
She does such a good job, and I'm just like, babe, she wants to do that. Like when she grows up, she wants to be an editor.
Yes.
And I was like, girl, you could totally do it. And with us having the guitar company, like Matt's like, hey, by the time you're older, like you could just slide over here and start making videos for us. And like all these, it's just so cool because it was something she wanted to do. And I didn't teach her really anything. I just kind of downloaded the program for her and kind of was like, here's some basics. And then she like went bonkers.
Oh, we're going to have to check this out.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. And then, so it's just so super cool. Because not at all something I thought she would really love. Because Sarah, editing is monotonous.
It's monotonous and it's time consuming.
It takes a lot of time. Yeah. And it's a lot. But
yeah.
She loves doing it.
I love that she loves it.
That's awesome.
And I hope there's people out there that love it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well,
it's fine.
So you just said that really quickly. What do you mean guitar company?
Yeah, so my husband and I, him, I don't work there, but have a custom guitar shop called MJT, Aged Finishes. So we make guitars that look like they're vintage guitars.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. That was really loud.
Me. Yeah. Back up next time.
That's so cool. My husband's a guitar player, so I'm going to have to check that out too.
Yeah. Absolutely. You should. Yeah, absolutely. MJT guitars. If you just Google that, it'll come up. Trust me. So.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I know. We need to plug both of those.
Both of them.
Yeah. Yes. Sweet. All right. Well, so you have some projects coming up. I know you've been very busy. I have a list, but I don't know if you have if like you want to do it chronologically. The one I had was Saved by Grace.
Yep. Saved by Grace. Yes. So Saved by Grace was filmed in Bentonville, Arkansas, which was cool because it was like an hour away.
Easy.
Back and forth.
Easy peasy.
Sleep in my own bed. It's awesome. So yeah, that I'm in the pilot episode and episode 4 of that, and that'll be on PureFlix. I believe late spring, early summer, 2022. So that one was a lot of fun. That one is it's based on a movie where it's like an angel that kind of just pops in and is helping people.
Cool.
So
nice.
It's cool. Yeah.
Well, great.
Very cool.
So, and you said spring 2022.
Yes,
maybe
late spring, early summer, right around.
Okay, great.
That's so cool.
What about Square Pegs?
So Square Pigs is the movie I just finished, where my internet was spotty. But yeah, so that one I play the lead role of Jody McCoy, who she's having herself a little moment. She lost her mom and she blames her dad, and her dad blames her. And of course, this happens all the time. Instead of dealing with it, they just blame each other and get bitter. And so she's suing her dad for half of the house. She feels entitled to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then a whole lot of things happen. And there's going to be a happy ending because there always is, but there's a whole lot of stuff in between A and B.
Good.
So, yeah, that was fun.
That's very cool.
And where did you say where that one was?
That one I filmed in Georgia.
Okay.
Claxton, Georgia.
Okay.
It's a tiny little town.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. What about Mind Reader? Mind
Reader. So that is Rich Cristiano's newest movie. And that was the one that I filmed. It was like the little HGTV town.
Yes.
It was so cute. So that one is about a mind reader, like a guy who can read minds, and the Magic Association is trying to figure out how he's doing it. And so that one's gonna, I think, fall of 2022 is kind of roughly where they're thinking it's gonna be done. But yeah, that one's got some good stuff too. It's set in like the 70s.
Oh, fun!
Always fun.
Super
and the
fun.
Locations are fantastic. It was a lot of fun to work with. And Rich is incredible. He's so prepared and knows exactly what he's looking for. And so it's just, the whole process was so smooth.
Oh, I love that.
What was your character?
So my character was, oh my gosh. What's her name?
Oh no.
I know.
I don't remember her name.
You've had a film since then.
You've had multiple films since then. Yeah.
It was a J, I'm pretty sure. I feel like a lot of I played Jody, Jill, and I'm pretty sure that was a J. I can't remember.
They're all J's. I love it.
That's not a problem.
Remember. You'll see.
We'll see it. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where was that filmed?
Mississippi.
Okay.
Hey,
everywhere.
I don't remember.
You've been everywhere.
I've been everywhere.
Well, what about Running the Bases?
Running the Bases was filmed in Arkansas. Again, that was really close to me.
Nice.
That was lovely. And so Running the Bases, the director, it was Marty Roberts, who's the director who runs my show. And so that was great. That one was kind of nice because I was only there one day. Could come in and do my scenes and then go home. But I got to work with so many incredible people.
I was just going to say that. There's so many people in that.
So much talent on that movie.
Yes.
There's so much talent on that movie. And it's such a great story. Oh, it's really, really well done. It's about a baseball coach who, I'm going to nutshell this terribly, but it's about a baseball coach who's coaching and he runs the bases and prays before every game. And there's a guy in charge who doesn't like the influence he's having on his son specifically. And so he stirs up trouble.
Yeah.
And it's really, really a great story. That's the worst nutshell ever.
No, that was great. And we love baseball. I could literally can't wait.
And it's beautiful. It's shot so beautiful. I've seen a few things and I'm like, this is really great.
This is so great.
It looks really good. Fantastic actors. It's just it's going to be a great movie.
I can't wait.
That
There's so many friends that are in that. It's going to be really, really good.
Well, and what about Beautiful One?
Beautiful One. So that is the one I shot 2 months after my surgery, actually. I'm going to be honest. I didn't read the script.
I love it.
Wait, what?
I didn't read the script. So the production company, I know well enough that I was like, I trust them. My character didn't need to know anything about anything happening outside of her scenes. So I was like, I don't want to know. I kind of wanted it to be a surprise because my character is very self-absorbed. She is so much fun. Oh my gosh.
She's like, I love her.
Oh my gosh. Why is it that? Like the really kind of like snotty characters.
They're so much fun. They're so much fun because you have to justify it. You have to believe that that's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's such a far cry from who you are.
Yes.
As a person. That's why.
I hope so. But it was great. It was so much fun. But yeah, so that project, I do know that project is about finding your inner beauty and not, like the outward kind of thing. The Lord looks at the heart and whatnot. But I'll be just as surprised as all of you.
I love it.
Confess I was in it. I don't know anything about the story.
That is so cool.
Any idea when it's coming out?
I believe fall of this year again is their target, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. But yeah, so we'll all be surprised together.
I'm kind of obsessed with your process on that. I really hope that I get to do that someday. Just be like,
it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
I'm really stoked for you to be excited or to be surprised.
Well, and the fun thing about that is, like, normally I would never do that because I'm like, I got to make sure this project is something I would be attached. But I'm like, listen, I trust these people. Yeah. I know they're not going to be doing something I don't want to be a part of. I was like, I don't even.
And that makes the process way better too. Is like knowing and trusting the company that you're making the movie for.
I can imagine.
And I hope you do get to do that. You get to not read the script and just read your script.
I hope someday I get to. It's fun. I love that.
Because people will be like, "Oh yeah, I play it." I'm like, I don't know who that is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
Right? Oh, you were in that too? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's neat.
Cool. We'll find out.
Well, so you can't be in any other projects the rest of the year because you have so many premieres to go to.
Well, yeah, that too. She said that's not true.
I mean, that's not true. That's not true, guys.
She said, don't tell people that.
No, I know. But it was, well, that one's spring. That one's summer. That one's fall. That one's fall.
And I was thinking, this is 2022 is the year of Meggie Jenny. We're just going to see your face all the time.
There you go.
And guys, get ready to be sick of me.
I'm here for it, and we get to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it.
So cool. Well, tell us where we can follow you, keep up with all of your shenanigans, and I mean that in the best possible way. Good shenanigans.
So all social media, obviously, except TikTok, because I am.
Because we hate TikTok.
So, I mean, if you love TikTok, sorry, nothing against you. I just
hate the platform. I'm not on it either, so I'm with you.
I think it's 100%. Ruining everyone. No, it's probably not. It's probably a fantastic platform, but now I've made my decision.
Yes.
Used to be flexible.
Sticking to it.
But it's terrible disposition. But yeah, so on Instagram, Facebook, all of the places, just at Meggie Jenny. Luckily, I have a unique enough name.
You do.
There's nobody else. It's just me.
That's wonderful. So, I love it. Well, go check it out. And especially if you're an actor or an actress and you're getting started, or if you're not getting started and you just need a refresher and some really entertaining tips on self-taping and stuff, go check it out. It's so cool. It's so entertaining, and it's actually like helpful information. So definitely go check that out. I love them, and I think you're just doing incredible things. And I really hope, I'm putting it out there that maybe 2022 is the year that we get to work together.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm putting out there, because
listen, I would
here
read
for
the whole
it.
Script for you.
This is the nicest thing anybody's ever said. I would read a whole script just for you.
I would read the whole thing.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. It is always such a joy to talk to you, and I'm so glad that you were here with us today.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
For more information on Project Brickworks, visit us online at projectbrickworks.org. Subscribe to our newsletter or text BRICK to 55498 to get the latest news and updates. We love y'all. Be blessed, and we'll see you next time.